You knew life would be hard, but you did it hard anyway. That's all of our tasks. Life doesn't get easier. We get stronger. You're going to do it hard. You're not going to do it at all. Les Brown gives us things to constantly think about to shift that perspective. Sometimes when we're going through those seasons, ladies and gentlemen, I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes we're not always thinking in the best ways to help us get out of it, to give ourselves the belief in ourselves, in our dreams. The doubt is real. You may question your dreams. You may question if it's worth paying the price. But one thing I want you to understand, what Les Brown just said at the very end of that is the key. It's less about the dream. It's more about the person you become by chasing the dream. See, when you have a really big goal and a really big dream, and you want to have a really big life, and there's a lot of things you want to do, a lot of people you want to bless, a lot of things that you want to make happen, you and I, ladies and gentlemen, have to become a different person in order to get to that place. So oftentimes, it's not just about the dream, it's about the person you have to become in order to achieve the dream. So when we talk about what I just mentioned, for some of you just jumped on, when you're in that valley, we call those character building seasons. Why? Why do we call it character building season? Specifically because your character is being built during the toughest times of your life. It's your character, right? Bliss, we're just having a conversation. You can feel free to drop a comment in there if you want to. It's not necessarily interactive, but we're here having the conversation. Make sure all of you are writing down some of these things that are the seeds that will help you now go off and water these seeds so that they become exactly what you want, meaning the mindsets, the ways that we think about these things. That's what's important. Les Brown said something also in there before I dive into the text. He said, faith and patience are required. He said, what happens when you're going through a really, really rough season? What do you need? You need faith. You need faith, belief in yourself, belief in God, belief that things will work out, belief that you'll have a favorable outcome. It's so funny because I just saw a TikTok of a lady saying this. She said she was she worked under two very rich white men, and said she learned a lot about business. And she was like, I'll share with you two of the things I learned about business. The first thing she said was, you just have to believe you're going to win. She was like, what I learned from them was they just always believed that whatever they did was going to work out. They didn't have any real doubts. Even if like the pandemic hit, they didn't take it as a sign like they shouldn't do this or that's not the right. They always assumed that everything they did would turn out favorably. That was her first thing that she learned. A mindset trick, not a this product, here's how to do a M&A, none of the technical stuff that we dive into. She learned that most of their success was a mindset. They just believed they would do well. I'll start this thing. Oh, of course it's going to do well. We start a thing like, I don't know. Maybe it might. I'm not sure. I'll give it a try. That's just mindset. It's belief. So I just saw that yesterday. And again, Les Brown confirms that faith is what you need. Belief is what you need. And that leads to patience. The patience is how you wait for your dreams, how you are waiting for what you want. Faith and patience, then develop your action. Some of you know me, but maybe don't know this part. My first two tattoos ever were faith and patience. I was 18 years old. They're right here on my forearms. It's patience, it says faith. I don't know what that's about, right? It's just God speaking to me at an early age. I'm not sure. Those are my first two tattoos ever. Faith and patience. And they've kept me very, very, very well through this journey of entrepreneurship. But that's what we all need to develop, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit more faith, a little bit more patience. Maybe for some of you, a lot more patience, right? Because it takes some. But then let that push you into action. Here's what it says in the text. In 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class, it says the world class catapults their consciousness by overcoming obstacles. That the essence of that video of Les Brown, that life is hard, means you will face challenges. We all know this stuff. I'm not telling you anything new. You already facing challenges. You faced challenges in the past. You've gotten through all those challenges. You're still here. You're continuing to get through the challenges. But you got to know that this is what takes you to the world class, to that world class level, is by overcoming the obstacles. It's character building. Here's what it says. It says, while the masses see obstacles as their primary adversary, champions view them as opportunities to expand their level of thinking and competence. Professional performers know the only way they can truly become mentally tough enough to manifest their vision is to struggle and fight their way through obstacles. There's no other way. I'm going to read that again, because sometimes we don't believe that. I don't think we believe that. I actually believe that most of us think there is an easier way. Whatever we're going through, we're like, it's got to be something easier than this. I don't have to feel this. Like there's got to be an easier path. I feel like that's the way we operate. So we're going to learn about the world class professional performers. Professional performers know the only way they can truly become mentally tough enough to manifest their vision is to struggle and fight their way through obstacles. There's no other way. The great ones are conscious of the fact that success is trial by fire. The middle class consciousness avoids obstacles at all costs and looks for the easy way out. The world class builds their own roads and forges ahead, knowing the strength of character gained from overcoming obstacle after obstacle will be the measure of their true success. And with that rock solid character, even greater things can be accomplished. If you remove the obstacles, you remove the opportunity to grow. Say that again. If you remove the obstacles, you remove the opportunity to grow. The world class becomes great by overcoming more obstacles than the middle class. They get tough because they're in the game, getting hit, taking shots. Professional performers are good at overcoming obstacles because they're always engaged in the process. Amateurs spend so little time staring down the dragon that they simply never get tough enough to become pros. The fear of failure looms deep in the psyche of the masses. The great ones are sometimes fearful, yet develop more courage with each new obstacle until they stand up one day as true mental warriors. It is about the obstacles, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Rome, famous quote, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." Don't wish it were easier. Don't wish your life were easier. Don't wish the circumstances that you, are facing you didn't have to face. We're not on the woe is me, my life this, I can't, none of that. The obstacles each of us are faced with, because we all have different obstacles in our life. The obstacles that we're faced with are the things that will build the character you need in order to go off and go get that vision that you want. You have to be willing to go through the process. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Be willing to have obstacles. Be willing to be challenged. Be willing to have the adversary, the enemy, come push against what you're trying to do. If we are prepared, we can handle things better. That's why we talk about this stuff. If you're prepared, if you know, right? I heard somebody say, if you know that there's a 90% chance that bowling balls will fall from the sky today and hit you in the head, you will prepare yourself if you have to walk out that house. You will prepare yourself, right? You might not even walk out. But if you do have to go out, you're going to prepare yourself because you know there's a high likelihood that something's going to happen. So for all of us, because again, we're talking to us that are chasing our goals and dreams. We have big visions. You have a big life that you want to get to, the highest, grandest vision of your life. You want to be a blessing to others. You want to have legacy. Whatever it is that you're after, you have to expect the obstacles and run headfirst into them. When the obstacle comes, be excited, right? Everything's a mindset. You can switch how you feel. You can prime yourself. Obstacle comes, thank you, God, for this obstacle. Growing, I love this. You could say that to yourself over and over versus, another one. God, when is this going to get better? God, when is this going to happen? Another one. I just can't catch a break. It's just my luck, right? These are the things we start saying. but there's a difference in our language, right? God, thank you for this obstacle. I don't know about this one, God. Tell me what you're showing me here. Reveal what you're trying to have me learn on this one. I might not like it too much, but thank you for this. We have to know that the obstacles are what builds our character to get to the goals. I just want you to keep that in mind, because it's the only way to get to that place. The people that you know that are the most successful in any area of their life. Take marriage, for example. Take relationships. The people that are married and in long-term committed relationships for 20, 30, 40, 50 years of their life will tell you how many obstacles and challenges and struggles they had to go through over that time to keep their marriage together, to keep their relationship together, to be happy, to all those things. Obstacles, challenges. What about business? Right? I've told you guys this before, but it happens all the time. If you get clear on what your vision is and what you want to do in business as an entrepreneur, I promise you, the enemy's going to attack you literally within a month. I promise it's the way it works. I see it happen over and over and over again. Someone gets excited. They figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to head down this direction. And then all types of things start happening to them. Normally the same stuff that was happening before. It's just now it's more defeating because they actually had somewhere to go, right? Like they had the vision. It happens every single time. So once you expect it, it doesn't hurt as much. When you start that next venture, when you get your business thing off the ground, when you finally take that step towards your nonprofit or whatever the thing is that you're doing, expect for things to go wrong. Expect for the enemy to attack it. Expect for things to be sabotaged. Like, expect for it, guys. Expect it to happen. And keep going anyway. That's the whole thing. If you expect it, you're just going to keep going. I know this is normal. I'm going to keep going through this thing. I'm going to keep doing it. This is how you get to your vision. Again, in the text, there's no other way. There's no other way. Professional performers know the only way they can truly become mentally tough enough to manifest their vision. I want you to understand that part. This is a mental toughness game. This is not just about like a talent game or like you have to be mentally tough enough to handle what you're asking for. Some of you are asking for a really big life. You have to be mentally tough enough to do that, to obtain that life, to maintain that life. If your family is constantly pulling you left and right, they're the holes in your boat. You got family, friends, people around that are the holes in your boat, and you're over here trying to sail off into the sunset. Well, guess what? You're not going to get there if you're still allowing them to put holes in your boat. You got to be mentally tough enough to say, hey, I know what's good for me. I know what's good for my situation. I need to cut off people that are not good for that situation, regardless of who they are. That takes mental toughness. It takes mental toughness to power through and fight through the things that are up ahead. But here's the good news, y'all. We can all do it. You can do it. You can build courage. You can build faith. You can build patience. These are things that you're practicing. Again, like I told you this morning, we're planting these seeds so you are aware. Now you have to water them. How do you practice your faith, right? Some of you are believers, right? You got to read scripture, read the word. That's how you build your faith. It says in the Bible, faith comes from hearing from the word of God, right? So you got to make sure that, like, if you want to build your faith, you're actually doing the action things that you need to do to build your faith. Read the word. You need to build faith in yourself, belief in yourself. I just gave this to one of my clients. She was like, hey, I have a self-confidence issue, right? I don't always believe that like what I'm going to do is going to happen, blah, 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 all the stuff. I was like, hey, keep small promises to yourself. Every day, write down 3 things, and you make sure you do those 3 things every single day before you go to bed or whatever the case is. Just keep small promises to yourself. That's how you build faith in yourself. I'm waking up at 7. I make sure I make my bed every day. I take a walk every day. I do all 3 of those things. I promised myself I would do them. I do them. I build confidence. I do that over an extended period of time. I now believe in myself because I've kept reprogramming myself to say, well, whatever I said I was going to do, I did. Everything that I said I was going to do over the past 6 months, I did. Now I have confidence going into that next thing. But the opposite is also true. If we don't do the things we say we're going to do, if you keep telling yourself, this is the week, I'm going to do the diet, this is the month, I'm going to do the thing, and you don't, you actually are hindering yourself from believing in yourself, right? Like you have less belief in yourself because you keep saying things that you know are not true. Who cares if you tell it to the world? Like, you know it's not true because you know you didn't do it. So that's how we build faith. That's how we build belief. But we got to practice these things, ladies and gentlemen. You got to practice your patience in all these situations. It's about how you go through it, right? Not how you go through it, how you grow through it, right? How you grow through it. But that's what we got to do. Here's what it says. Thomas Carlyle says, this quote says, the block of granite, which was an obstacle in the path of the weak, becomes a stepping stone in the path of the strong. It's all about your perception, ladies and gentlemen. If you change your thinking, you change your life. How do you think about that obstacle? Do you think it's the worst thing? Do you think it's the thing that's going to ruin you? Do you think it's the reason you have a setback? Or do you see that obstacle as a great stepping stone to get to the next level, as a great way to learn the lesson that you're going to need 7 years from now when you actually have the things that you've been praying about? Are you seeing the obstacle as that? I hope you do. I hope you do, because that's how we get to all of our dreams, all of our goals, all of the things that we want. Action step for today, ladies and gentlemen, says make a list of the 3 biggest obstacles you currently face. Next, determine the worst thing that could possibly happen if you decided to mount an all-out assault to overcome them. If you can live with the worst case scenario, suspend your fear and attack your obstacles as if it was impossible to fail. Again, attack your obstacles as if it were impossible to fail. If you succeed, your self-confidence will soar. If you fail, you live to fight another day. But you gotta overcome your obstacles. You gotta head on, face them head on. Tough conversations, health challenges, whatever it is, face it head on so that you can get to your ideal life, ladies and gentlemen. I love y'all. I love y'all. I want you to win. I really do. I want you to win. You deserve to win. People aren't always honest with us about what it takes to win. People aren't always honest with us about what it takes to win. And so I want to be honest with you about what it takes to win. These types of things. The hard stuff. The hard stuff. Life is really not about your talent. It's about your mindset. You can figure it all out. You can do all the things you want. You can create whatever life you want to if your mind is in the right place, if you think on the right things, if you have the right thoughts and put those thoughts into action. All the good stuff will happen for you guys. It's time to make it happen, because why? It's too crowded down here at the bottom. Time to get to the top of this thing. I love y'all. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll come back on Friday and do it all again. Take care, y'all.